In this video, I'm going to talk about how I 5x'd my money using margin. I'm going to try to simplify this topic because it's something that can be really confusing and it's something that I struggled with myself in the past. Before we jump into the nitty-gritty stuff, this video is for entertainment purpose only and it's by no means financial advice, so don't just go and jump into something that you don't fully understand. With that said, margin is simply borrowing money from your broker while you carry out a specific trade. While you carry out that trade, you need to pay back your broker with interest, which is also known as a swap fee. I know this might sound confusing, but I'll show you guys a practical example in just a minute. The point of this video is to simply make you guys aware that margin trading is something that everyone can do. The preferred platform that I use is called BROKSTOCK. If you haven't already, please consider signing up with my link. That would be a great way to say thank you for the effort that I put into these videos. With that said, margin trading is like a double-edged sword. This is where you simply enhance the return that you can receive, but it can also enhance the losses that you can take. So let's say, for example, we have a leverage of 5x, which in this case, BROKSTOCK offers a 5x leverage account. And let's say, for example, we invest 1,000 Rand into a stock, let's call it Google, and Google goes up with 2%. Normally, you would only receive a 20 Rand gain or a 2% gain on your 1,000 Rand, whereas if you use margin with a 5x leverage, your 2% gets multiplied with 5, which makes it 10%, meaning instead of only getting 20 Rand on your 1,000 Rand, you can effectively receive 100 Rand on your 1,000 Rand. So you can imagine how this can help you grow your portfolio overall if you understand how to use it correctly. It's the same when you make a loss or an unrealized loss on a share. Again, let's say we invest 1,000 Rand in Google and the share goes down with 2%. You effectively only make a 20 Rand unrealized loss. But if you have a margin account with 5x, you can make an unrealized loss of 100 Rand. So the first thing I'm going to do is to show you how to activate margin trading on your BROKSTOCK account. And if you click on the portfolio tab, at the top right corner, there's a gear icon, which is basically your settings. You'll click on this. And if you don't have margin trading activated at the moment, you can click on this and it will automatically activate it, and you just click on save changes. So before I show you a practical example on my phone or on the BROKSTOCK app, the most important thing that you need to understand about margin is 1, margin calls, and 2, something called a swap fee. So margin calls is something that we really want to avoid, and a margin call is where a broker can sell your stocks or force you to make extra deposits into your account to keep a certain balance available in your account. Understanding how margin works is really important, and let's say, for example, you deposit a certain amount in your account and you activate margin trading, you need to have 20% of funds available in your account by all times. If you invest a certain amount and your available funds goes below 20%, that means you can get margin called. A margin call is where a broker will simply sell your stocks automatically or force you to make additional deposits to keep your balance above 20%. This is basically the biggest risk that you have, is a margin call. And I'm going to show you how you can actually see if you have enough funds available or not. Again, if I jump onto the BROKSTOCK app, there's a portion where it says analysis, and I'm going to click on this and it will show you available funds at the bottom. So here I can see that I have 36.61% available funds. So if this goes below 20%, you stand the risk to get margin called. Then another thing, I'm just going to jump onto one of these trades. If I scroll down and I click on my portfolio, and it basically shows the amount of shares or the amount of lots that I bought in this share, here we can see something called a swap. So this is minus 382 Rand and 9 cents, which is basically the fee that I need to pay the broker because we kept this margin trade open for longer than 1 day. So as your trade goes on, the longer you keep it open, the more you will pay on swap fees. And this means your overall expenses will increase, meaning your overall return will have to be more to cover your expenses. So just to put this all into perspective, I'm going to use the first one, which is a share that I bought called AMD. And we can see that the share is up around 7.89%, but it actually only went up in real life with about 1.57%. And because I use a 5x margin account, it will multiply the effective return with 5, which gives us 7.89%. So here you can see how big a difference this actually makes. But here's where the scary part comes in, and this is a sell order on Palantir, and this stock shows that it's down 3.45%. The stock is effectively only down 0.7%, but it's costing me around 1,206 Rand of unrealized losses. It can help you increase your overall gains, but it can also increase the amount of losses you can receive. The cool thing when you use margin trading is that you can actually bet against the market. So most of the time you invest in a stock with your prediction being that the stock will go up or the price will increase. And once the price increases, you actually make unrealized gains. But when you use margin trading, you can do the opposite. Meaning if you think the market is going down or a specific stock is going down, you can bet against that stock. So once the stock actually goes down and you predicted it correctly, you will make money. The problem is that if you predict that the market will go down and it actually goes up, then you will have unrealized losses. I wanted to show you guys a couple of the trades that I've done in the last month. Here we can see that I made 220 and 216 Rand with Nvidia. Everywhere it shows a minus is basically the fees you need to pay when you actually buy that company. Here I made 100 Rand on Enphase, 100 Rand on Apple, 100 Rand on Microsoft. Here's 357 Rand on Netflix. Here's another 690 on Enphase, 263 on Intel. And if I scroll down here, we can see I made 1,700 Rand on Amazon, 273 on AMD. Here's a big one where I sold Nvidia around 5,720. Another one with AMD of 1,000 Rand, 308 Rand on Tesla. If I scroll down, here's quite a few orders. Tesla, Enphase, Process, MTN. So yeah, this is just some of the trades that I made in August, and at the end of the day, this has helped me to grow my account to around 100,000 Rand at the moment. I made a previous video where I set a goal to increase my account to around 100,000 Rand. In the meantime, I deposited around 20,000 Rand extra to have enough money to use margin, and from there it grew up until around 100,000 Rand. This is just a short video covering why margin is something that's really important to understand and why it's such a powerful tool, but I also want to make you aware of the risks involved. Again, if you want to start investing or trading, please consider signing up with BROKSTOCK using my link, and again, that would be your way to thank me for the effort that I put into these videos. Feel free to let me know if you have any questions about this whole trading platform or process, and maybe I can make a follow-up video about this topic.